Hey, Deck It Out DIYers. This month, for our adult box, we have some great projects. So in this pile, we are going to create a box, a centerpiece box. You will get a tag. So these will have twine with them, okay? We're going to build this really large bunny with the rattan pattern, which is so fun. And the bunny does have a bow overlay. Now, included in your kit for this month, we have these projects. We also have wood glue, and then 3 pretty colors. So we're going to get started with painting the centerpiece box first. Okay, I'm going to paint the centerpiece box this really fun light yellow. And we included both the yellow sponge and the white sponge. Now you can decide how you want to paint it, but I'm going to paint every side, not the edges though. So do not paint these edges. Whatever is burnt crisp, don't burn those. I'm going to paint with this light yellow, like I said. So I'm going to dip it in, clean it off a little bit, dab it off like we always do, and I'm going to lightly dab my paint on. If I have a lot of paint, it's going to drip through, right? So I'm going to paint this project first because then I want it to dry, and then I may need to do a second coat of paint depending on what paint color I chose. Okay, so I'm going to do 1 full coat of paint, let that dry, and then I'm going to come back and do another coat of paint if I need it, and then we will talk about assembling. So this is a multi-step project. Okay, so next up, while your box is drying, you're going to take and glue these 2 pieces together. Okay, so we're gonna take our glue, and it's kind of in like a lip balm container, and just squeeze a little bit out. My fingers are... So just squeeze a little bit out. And then I want you to do this now so that it can set. And then if you want to, you can paint the base. So I'm gonna put glue on the bottom of this base, making sure not to put glue in the spacer or the slot. Okay, and then just eyeing it up, making it center. Okay, and then let that set so that we can put our bunny in there. Okay, for the next piece, I like the bunny as is. I like the wood look, so I'm not going to paint it. If you do want to paint it, you'll use the same technique that we used earlier. Dab it in the paint, dab it off, dab lightly. But I'm not going to paint this one. I am, though, going to paint the overlay. Okay, do you see how it kind of matches up? And then at the bottom, I'll flip it around to the back. This is the spacer that's going to go in the base we just glued together. So I am going to paint the border. I'm going to use my small white sponge. I'm going to paint the bow pink. I'm going to paint the bunny white. And then I think I'll put the white overlay over the top of it. So again, I'm going to use my white sponges, and I'm going to lightly dab the paint. Okay, so you just saw me put glue on the base or the pattern background of the bunny. Now I'm going to align it, and I want you to align it by the ears up top, making sure that that's all on straight. And then come down here, because remember there's that little lip so that it sits in the slot of our base. Okay, I'm just loving this. I hope you are too. This is super fun, and it's quite large, as you can see. So it'll look great on your mantle. It will look great by the fireplace, Easter baskets. It's just gonna be awesome, an awesome piece. So it'll look great by your box. Maybe you're gonna put fresh flowers in it. You'll see that I did take my little detail brush and I kind of cleaned up some of the paint that kind of dripped out. What's really nice about this is it's, like we talked about earlier, it's like a lipstick applicator, but it comes out and we can smooth it out so we don't have a ton of extra drips. So once this is all in place, I've already glued my bow. You'll want to let this set, okay? And then this should be fairly dry. So if you want to come back and paint this, you definitely can. We gave you one yellow sponge. If you wanted a different color, I used yellow before, I'll probably use white. You can just cut it in half and then paint here. When you paint on this project, don't get paint on the inside, because that will prohibit the slot from the bunny to fit. I also don't usually paint the edges because they're burnt and they're clean. So the only time I paint the edges is if I decide that I want them painted, or I get a lot of paint on them and I don't want to clean it up. So feel free to paint this base if you want. It's been sitting for me for a few minutes, so it's kind of dry and set. I'm still applying pressure while I paint, but I'm just trying to get these painted so that I can show you the finished projects. Okay, so now I want to take a look at these tags. If you want to paint them, dip your paint in, or your sponge in the paint, and then dab it off on the side. You don't want a lot of paint, as we've been talking about throughout this whole tutorial. You don't want a lot of paint, it will seep through. If you want to leave them the natural color that they are, that's awesome too. And then there's this line here. So you could write anything you wanted on there. You could write a kid's name or a family name for a basket. If you're going to do a basket, you could write the word welcome and attach these tags outside your house. You could just leave them plain because they're cute as they are. You could write Happy Easter on them and gift them if you're going to do some flowers for someone. There's lots of options for these, and these will have twine, so you can make them into a little tag and then use them how you would like. So they're just kind of a fun little piece. I think I'm going to write my kids' names on them, and I'll just handwrite those on and then maybe put them with their baskets or kind of just have them as decoration in the house. So lots of options, but as you're noticing, I am not using a lot of paint at all, and I am lightly dabbing. All right, we're going to take a look at how to assemble our box. So pick which side you want as the inside of the box. And I would recommend putting it together without any glue first. For the sides, the part that has the extra box around each section, that goes on the outside. Okay, so I'm gonna lay those down. These solid pieces are the inside pieces, and they do have a specific way that they fit, and it's not this way. Okay, so what you're gonna wanna look at is the taller piece goes to the top, okay? So that it sits all the way up. Now, when I put this together earlier, I put it together on its side because I felt like it held it all together better. Again, with these outer pieces, pick the side that has the little design around the edges, and then also make sure you have it standing the correct way. Okay, so these pieces are going to fit in like this on the side, and then this piece will fit in here. Okay, so then when I did this earlier, I put little drops of glue, and that's why we have our wood glue again. I put my wood in, or my wood glue in, and I pulled up the edge, not this edge. I pulled up this edge, okay? Then I did a little bead of glue on here, okay? And you'll watch me do this, and keeping it all up and together. And then we'll put a little bit of glue on the insides of these. And then we're gonna take our last piece and we're going to fit it all together on the top. Now, this does take a little finagling, as you're noticing, but man, is it worth it in the end, because this box is so fun. Okay, so we're gonna put the glue in, and then I really want you to make sure, you might need to use your body, or maybe you have someone else there that can help you put this together. Okay, but you're gonna piece it together, hold it together. I don't think it matters if it lays on its side. I'm just showing you. I'm picking it up to show you. I'm pinching on both of the outsides right now to make sure that it's good and steady. So either you can have it sit up to dry if you want, or you can have it lay on the side. Just make sure all your pieces are snug and together. And then if you have something heavy that you can put on either side, if you're crafting in your house and you have, I don't know, maybe laundry detergent to sit on each side, or heavy books that you could put on each side, that will help. Okay, so put it together so you know where all the pieces go, and then we'll go back and we'll add the glue. Okay, I'm now going to leave my box and let it set, and I will come back once it's done being glued together, and I will do some touch-ups. If you want to paint the top, I'm probably going to do that. And then you do see I did get a little bit of glue inside. You probably can't see it much, but I'll just clean that up a little bit with some extra paint that I have, because I'm going to put mason jars in here. So I'm not totally worried about that. The other thing I was thinking about is if you had some rope, you could probably wrap it around to kind of hold it tight, or like a big rubber band to hold it tight, squeeze it in. But I just put my basket full of paint supplies and then my large roll of twine on either side of it, and it seems to be holding quite snug. So I'm gonna let this set for, I'm gonna probably leave it for an hour or more, and then I will come back and then do some touch-ups. Okay, I'm back, and I've allowed my box to dry for about an hour, and it's all intact. I love it. I really love it. And I think I kind of like the darkness, the contrast, so I think I'm going to leave it. However, if you don't, this is the time where you can take your sponge and you'd paint over it. Okay, so you'd paint over it if you wanted. To clean this up, you could use the little sandpaper that's included, or you can leave it kind of the rustic vibe, but I think it looks awesome. And you guys, this is so much fun. So this will fit mason jars. And in the photos you saw us stage it with, cutlery or flowers. There's so many things. Maybe you just want it on your kitchen counter to put, pencils and pens and paper, and maybe charger cords and things. Super fun box. Okay, then we also made the tags. Okay, super fun. And then last but not least, this awesome, super beautiful bunny that will stand, and she is tall and she is wonderful, and oh my goodness, I just love her. So you'll stand her in the base, okay? And she'll stand on your counter, or she'll stand, wherever. I don't know where you're going to put her, but I might put her on my mantle. I have another bunny from last year too. So these are our projects. I hope you loved them. I can't wait to see what you created with them. So check us out at our Deck It Out DIYers Facebook group. Remember, these are exclusive projects to our Deck It Out box, and we'll see you in, this is March and April, so we'll see you in May. Thanks, DIYers.